Hello, cooking enthusiasts. This week's video is going to be a bit of a quicker video. I was hoping to release a roasted pumpkin sorbet, but that will have to wait until next week. Now, of course, because of the season, that pumpkin recipe was going to be pumpkin spiced. But, of course, I could not resist making my own blend of baking spices. From some very basic research, most versions of pumpkin pie slash baking spices have cinnamon be really the biggest component. My version is slightly different, as dry ginger and fresh nutmeg are actually slightly larger relative to cinnamon, but those three spices are definitely the backbone of the mixture. Even though it's not the biggest component, I did weigh these cinnamon sticks and base all of the other measurements on that weight. And if you check the link in the video description, you will see a full breakdown of this spice mixture, also scaled to the weight of cinnamon. And before adding the nutmeg and ginger, we actually ground up all of the rest of the secondary spices. Pretty much the only other classic ingredient for a baking spice mixture is cloves. But from there, things get a little bit different. My first sort of wild card is Grains of Paradise, which I don't think many people actually know about. It is very slightly black peppery, a little more anise-y, and very slightly floral. I think on its own, it works really well with apples. I actually first learned about it in Alton Brown's recipe for apple pie. The next slightly unusual ingredient is just some straight up black peppercorns. And fortunately, a lot of these spices I just ordered from Burlap and Barrel, which you may have heard of, but so far they are really nice, complex, fresh spices. But black pepper is something I really like in desserts regardless, and it's just giving a little more warmth to the ginger and cinnamon. Next is something really unusual, I think, in that I have never personally seen it in any type of spice blend like this, and that is dried candy cap mushrooms. I got these from a different sort of specialty gourmet website, and they do have a slightly earthy, mushroomy flavor. But the really interesting thing is that the flavor of artificial maple syrup, breakfast syrup, was originally isolated from these mushrooms. So when you make a liquid extraction or grind these mushrooms into powder and then mix that with sugar, you really get a very mapley flavor. And I think that, as well as the slight earthiness, plays really well in this spice mixture that you're pretty much always going to be combining with sugar. The absolute last ingredients were a very small amount of cocoa powder and also a little bit of maltodextrin. Both of those ingredients are starchy, so they help the powder become more powdery. And the cocoa powder is just to give it a little bit of bitterness without it actually being chocolatey. To taste test the spice mixture, we actually mixed it with a bit of sugar and hot water to make a quick spiced sweet drink, and I decided it needed a little more grains of paradise, black pepper, and those candy cap mushrooms. So once again, I will be leaving the full breakdown recipe as a link in the video description. You just type in your cinnamon weight and it will give you all of the other measurements. And most people might not be able to make this mixture exactly, but it still might inspire you to make your own mixture. If you have any questions about this video, please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, thank you for watching.